All right, so I had to hop on here and just talk about this podcast that I heard. It was Lewis Howe's podcast on the School of Greatness, and his guest was David Bayer, and he was talking about beliefs and how your beliefs are more important than anything when it comes to manifestation. And I got pretty excited about it because it's something I have just had this epiphany about where, yeah, it's more about beliefs more than your thoughts, your energies, your affirmations, all these kind of things, because your thoughts do turn into beliefs because beliefs are something that you've thought about for a really long time. But it's those beliefs that actually propel your manifestation to come into fruition much faster. And it will come because the world literally reflects to you, acts like a mirror to what you believe you deserve. Not what you want, but what you believe. And energy is this funny thing because we can't see it, right? And everybody wants to see, touch, feel, taste, hear, and all of these things when we do have other senses that are not just right here in your face. We do have that sixth sense and that silent stuff because, believe it or not, everything that is solid is made up of tiny subatomic particles. So when you have these subatomic particles, they do form things when they get together and they have all these molecules and kind of form something that's matter, right? So it's all made of energy because everything's constantly moving. So I used to believe that being positive would bring those things that are on that same wavelength, which is true. It is true because it's very helpful with relationships. You know, if you are a positive person and you're friendly and you have good intentions, generally speaking, you will attract those type of people. Sometimes you'll attract the others, but they don't last very long. Lord knows I've had my share of those people. And, because sometimes if you're super positive and nice, people take advantage of that. But, just pay attention to the signs and don't get sucked in. And eventually something comes up anyways because your energies do have to match. And so I love that idea. I love it. And I love that your beliefs really is what's the driving force for your manifestations. And because it's something I've just come across where I was just like, wow, it's really what you believe you deserve. It's not about how bad you wish for it, how many times you've journaled about affirmations and what you want your life to look at. Now, I do say vision boards worked. I've said it before in the past because I've had many things come to pass on my vision board. And so I don't want to discount those at all. And I've visualized winning first place when I was dirt bike racing. And yes, I have been a dirt bike racer. Now, I'm at the very amateur level and very beginner level, so it's not all that in a bag of chips. But, I thought I was kind of a badass here and there. But anyway, when I first started riding, racing these dirt bikes, and I realized I really sucked. Actually, I was really terrible. My first race, I broke my clutch because I hit the same tree twice. And anyway, in the same spot, it was terrible. But anyways, after a while though, I started setting these little goals of what I believed I could do. Now I could finally not get lapped by the fastest diva. Yes, that was our class. That's what they called it. And so anyway, I would take each little step of progression as a win. And I believe those little wins drive you a little further. And I am a competitive person, but I started thinking, okay, let's just start out with baby steps. And so as time began, even though I had on my vision board back in 2011 is when I did it, I actually had that I would be getting on the podium. I would win first place trophies and all that kind of stuff. And I was sadly, rudely awakened about the fact that, oh, wow, maybe that was kind of a high goal. Well, time progressed. I kept doing it, didn't give up, kept going, doing the whole thing. And then I wasn't getting lapped by people that were generally lapping me before. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then we were at some race and I don't know, one of the other racers, I guess, thought that somebody was sandbagging our race because they stepped down in a lower level to be in our race. And, they did good, whatever. She didn't lap me either. So I was real happy about that. But the thing is, so somebody complained about it and they changed the classes. So now I was riding and racing with people more my skill level, not the people that were very much ahead of me like that. And guess what? I started getting trophies, and I did get that first place one, and I got a second place one, and actually I got I think a fourth or fifth place one. They gave it out anyway. But regardless of how it happened, it worked. But I do believe that was my belief. Plus, I am super competitive, and I know that. I believe that in my soul, and that's what helps drive that. Plus, I believe in certain things, My limiting belief sometimes is on money, hence my Ponzi scheme, hence a bank scam, not trusting people when it comes to money. So I've been working on that. So now I'm kind of trusting the universe because with the bank scam drama, got the money back. So I know about getting curious and also being solution seeking as opposed to focusing on the problem and dwelling on it and feeling helpless. Solution seeking will get you anywhere. It's like being curious. It's like, okay, there's got to be a way to figure out how to make things work. Okay. And like, why did this happen to me? Okay, let's get curious. All right. So I can look at me as the common denominator. My family member was involved in a bank scam, had some weird stuff with some inheritance thing that got weird. That guy and I ironed out too. And then now Ponzi scheme. All since like 2021. That actually the very end of 2020. So I'm like, man, what is this about? Plus, I'm not an astrologer, but my Saturn return is in my second house. And so it is kind of about money. So it's kind of ironic. But anyway, the whole thing is that now I'm curious about, how do I change my belief to get that going? So now I'm excited about it. And I'm not so upset about what's going on. And let me tell you, the Ponzi scheme is way more money than the bank scam by far, like by a lot. So it didn't upset me as much when this happened because I almost feel like that bank scam prepared me for this because I got money back. I got more money back than what was actually scammed. And so therefore it was like, I think there's more to this story with the Ponzi scheme, and it's a big life lesson for me to share with everyone. And we're going through this in real time. So I am not one of those people who's like going to tell you I'm this great coach because I've achieved all this stuff. I have achieved success, but my success might look a little different from others. I have written a book. I've published two books. I'm working on a third one. And Manifesting Me, Story of Rebellion and Redemption, which actually kind of started out like it was talking about more of like a church cult thing. But honestly, it's really more about beliefs and how you manifest stuff. Because I did use the law of attraction in my 20s. I manifested my husband. I manifested my condo by certain ages. I did all this stuff in my own business and building it, which it did allow me to get those things. Plus, I did manifest time. I've learned how to manifest time where I actually have enough time to do the things that I want to do. So I might not be this multi-millionaire. I'm not saying I'm not a millionaire, but everybody in California probably is. So there you go, if you own a home. So anyway, but I have built up wealth where I've come from kind of nothing. Like, my parents weren't big on supporting us financially. And I bought a horse when I was 14 years old, and I worked for that horse and I manifested it. And, then I got pregnant at 20 years old. Everybody thought I was going to ruin my life. And I did not believe I was ruining my life. I believed I could handle anything. And I also wanted to prove everybody wrong. And boy, did I, because I started my own hair business where I was renting my own space at 22 years old as a single mom. And I bought my first condo by the time I was 25. And, well, there's a will, there's a way. And I truly believe that. And there always is. And it's always worked out. So I was so excited listening to David Bayer's interview with Lewis Howes on the School of Greatness because he validated everything I've been saying. Now, mind you, they probably have more of a successful coaching business. I'm still new in that, and but I do have information that I can share with people and help you achieve your goals that you want to achieve, because I've achieved mine. Now, everybody's a little different. My goal was to have a life work balance, and that means I like to camp, I like to go on vacation, I like to spend time with friends, and I don't want to spend all my time working, and I don't. I work 4 days a week in the salon, and for a while it was even more part-time than what it was before in the past. I actually used to be a workaholic, and now I've incorporated writing blogs and my website. I make candles, anything to help for manifestations, for you to achieve what you want to get. And and I'm even going camping next week again, and I just got back from camping. So I personally think that having your success and being able to go on these vacations and do the things I love to do is success in itself. I have a great relationship with my adult kids. I'll see my daughter tomorrow doing her hair. My son, we talk all the time. He's down in LA, and we're a pretty close family, and that's pretty awesome in these days where people are not necessarily communicating. So I define success by that. So everybody has their own way, their own definition of success. Yes, do I want a little bit more money in the bank account? 100%. Who doesn't want that, right? Because we are in these times. So anyway, so this is where I was so excited about them talking about beliefs are the most important, because everything is energy, energy is everything. And so how I do it a little differently is that I use cards that kind of offer hope, and they offer suggestions, and I use them more of like a prescription as opposed to a prediction, although they do have their ways of predicting the future, because generally the energy is kind of consistent and it goes a certain direction. So I'm going to pull some cards for you so that you can see this. And actually, I think when I post this video, I will be on vacation. So because I'm doing this video today on Tuesday, June 21st, and then I'll post it not tomorrow, but the following Wednesday. And so let's just see where our thoughts are as a collective and how we can use that energy to our benefit and manifest the things that we are trying to achieve. All right, I'm using the Angel Tarot deck from Lee Valentine. And I think I saw some extra cards in here, which I don't know why I did that, but they're in there. I guess they want to be in there. So let's see what these cards want us to say. So the first card is about the topic, okay? What is on everybody's mind as a collective? If I could shuffle these. Oh, man, I'm having a difficult time. So, first card. All right. Five of Fire. All right. So what's on everybody's mind? There is some competition out there. And this is kind of what I was talking about too, a little bit, like other people are doing other things. This has to do with, I talked about dirt bike racing, right? So this is like a competition, but this can also be something where you are feeling like everybody else is doing what you want to do, but why are they doing it better? I want you to get curious about that, because this is the topic. I was kind of talking about it. So see, the energy doesn't lie. See where you might be competing with other people. And I will be honest with you, I still do this, okay? I'll be like, oh, that person's doing what I wanted to do. And now, why can't I do it? Really? There's like how many hairdressers in the world and how many are successful? Like I work in Castro Valley out of my own home. And let me tell you, there's a hair salon, at least 5 on one block, and that's a small block, okay? So that's a scarcity mentality, right? So there's enough people to go around for everybody, and everybody has a different style of doing stuff. That's why it works, okay? Look at all the products we use in our hair. Oh my goodness. Every brand, how many brands? I like this brand. Somebody likes that brand. Hello? Yeah. So let's get excited about competition and kind of have it more with yourself as opposed to everybody else. And let's think about that. So let's see what the other cards have to say about that, because that's a really interesting, because, it's the conflicts with others. And is there some conflict going on right now? Yes. And that could be a distraction too, right? So let's see what these other cards. So the next card is a support. The Sun. All right. What's your idea? You had a bright idea. It needs to get started, but I think there's a little bit of scarcity mentality out there happening with that. The competition seems too great, but this card, the Sun, encourages you, do it. You got a great idea. There's going to be a positive outcome from this. So, okay. So that's our attitude that we need to have. Let's see what this last supporting card has to say. The Magician. This is all about manifesting and being magical. All right. I can't make this up. You saw me shuffle the cards. I talked about the competition that's out there and even just explaining my whole dirt bike story. And, here we have it right here. There's your friendly competition. And yes, we can get in that scarcity mindset when we think there's too much competition and that we're way down here, they're way up here. You're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 10. Stop it, okay? Because your idea is really good. And once you get this in there, manifesting is what's going to happen. You are like the magician and it's going to come out like magic. So don't underestimate your abilities to get the life that you desired. And again, if you want some help with this, you can always go to my website and book an appointment. I need to get a free consultation thing up there because I thought I had that up there, but apparently I don't. And then you can actually see what I'm all about, what this is all about. And energy is energy. This is how it works. It always does, whether you like it or not. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like these types of videos. Share it with somebody who you think needs to hear it. And let's manifest our best lives together. Have a great day.